Welcome to This Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe, from announcements made by DE that don't necessarily warrant their own videos to community fan art, posts, and updates. So without further ado, let's go over these announcements and news from the 7th of January to the 13th. So straight off of the bat, we had Devstream 104. So first off, the Prime Vault has been delayed once again until February, with a rough date of it arriving on February 6th. Now, the Prime Vault will include Ember, Loki, and Frost, with the armor sets and the cosmetics unknown at this time. Also, Damage 2.5 has been delayed, and they'll be making more quote-unquote radical changes to each damage type, which hopefully means they'll be changing puncture and impact effects to do something useful and bring them up to par with Slash, and hopefully Slash doesn't get touched. Now, since Damage 2.5 will be delayed, Scott stated that Cora will be receiving some changes before she arrives, and they'll keep us updated on any future changes that they'll make in regards to her. Now, they also showed off Mesa's Deluxe skin and mentioned that her 4th ability pistols may become some old-fashioned pistols when active. Either that, or it'll become a secondary pistol skin. Now, on the topic of deluxe skins, once again, the Zephyr Deluxe will eventually arrive once the designer finishes it off, as it is a passion project for him. Now, as for Equinox's second alt helmet, for those people worried about that or wondering about that, that is still in the works and still being recreated, as the original design and template was corrupted, so you will still have to wait a while for that. Now, they also touched on Tennogen and stated that the first round will be coming next week for PC players. This is the first round within 3 different rounds, with the second coming in late January and the third round in February. Now, Hydroid Prime's trailer is still being worked on for people also wondering about that. Now, they also showed off more animations for the upcoming two-handed katana, and the Zephyr rework is underway, with the possibility of some of her abilities being swapped out for new ones, while others will just receive stat changes, which in my opinion, they should just keep Turbulence, which is her 3rd ability, get rid of Tornado, or at least stabilize the enemies that are affected by them, and then get rid of her first 2 abilities or merge them into one. Now, on the topic of Zephyr's rework and reworks in general, Scott also mentioned that they may be going over other frames while doing Zephyr's rework and seeing what they can do in terms of stats and abilities. Now, there was also one major point, and that was drivable vehicles coming to Warframe. So this means players will be able to hijack the Grineer Darjans or control the Grineer Darjans or other vehicles in the game, possibly in the future. But what they showed off in the dev stream was the Grineer Darjan on the plains, with Rebecca just showing off what they currently have in that build. Now, there will be a couple of augments also dropping soon, with one for Titania, Harrow, Nidus, and Equinox. We didn't learn any information regarding Titania, Harrow, and Equinox's augment, however there was stuff for Nidus. So Nidus's augment will be for his larvae ability and will cause them to explode upon reactivation, which will then deal AoE damage with guaranteed viral procs of some form to surrounding enemies. Now, as for the Sacrifice quest, they stated that most of the development team are working hard on it. We may see it sometime soon, probably during the first end quarter of this year. Now, for those that don't know or are curious about what the other section of the developers are working on, that would be the next open world tile set of Venus, which, from Steve's comment, will be massive compared to the plains of Eidolon. Also, on topic of the Sacrifice quest, the next update for console players will hopefully be sometime this month, and will contain that spoilery prologue. Now, the final note of Devstream 104 goes to the morality system, which currently has no systems connected to it, and it seems that will be the case for some time, as Steve is on edge on what he wants to do with the system, as seen from his comments, which you can check out with the full Devstream video and the timestamps to what I've talked about in the description below. Also, if you wish to read a text version of a rundown of Devstream 104, there is D. Taylor's Devstream overview with a link to that in the description, as well as all of the other sources for this video. Next up, during the week, we had quality of life updates with Hotfix 22.8.3, and 0.4, with 0.3 swapping the drop locations of Frost, Excalibur, and Trinity. So as of that update, Excalibur can now be farmed from Mars, Frost from Ceres, and Trinity from Pluto, from each of those planets' bosses. They also made the Apostasy prologue replayable if you've already completed it, and if you're a new player or you have yet to complete the War Within or the Second Dream, don't Google it, as it does contain spoilers. And just on a side note, YouTubers with the fucking spoiler in the thumbnail or the title can legit go fuck themselves, as I know you wish to talk about it, But for the sake of new players and people that follow you for builds and whatnot who haven't yet played the quest, change the fucking thumbnail or the title to something that's at least relevant to it but doesn't spoil the fucking impact of the prologue. Anyways, they've also changed the Jupiter to Saturn junction task from killing the raptors to complete Bale in order to help players progress. And the final major change was making it so your last built item within the Progress tab at the Foundry will stay there as long as you're in the tab and you have a blueprint, and you have the blueprint required to build said item. There was also a few more quality of life changes in the hotfix, but you can check out the forum post or my individual video for the rest of the information. And the final note from DE is that the American PlayStation players that were wondering about the Winter Platinum sale, well, it is now returned and will end at 2 PM Eastern Time on the 17th of January. So that is all the relevant Digital Extremes information that I could gather for this week. So bringing it back to the basics and the origins of the series, we'll finish the video up with a few highlights from the community. First up, here's a film poster by NoblePixel on Reddit for John Prodman's breakout film, where he brings profits up and takes his enemies down. Secondly, there is GanassArt with Fanart of Ember with one of her Tennogen skins. Also, if you wish to browse the rest of their art, make sure you're in a decent area, as the artist does make a lot of not safe for work content. Lastly, we are back with more artwork from TreshToons with Saren, Frost, and Nyx. So if you want to check all the content out that I just mentioned, go down into the description and click on each individual link to see what you want to see. And that is it for this week in Warframe. If you wish to share your opinion on any of the topics that I discussed or any of my little comments throughout the video, feel free to do so with a comment down below. Also, if you think I can improve upon the series in any way, make sure to leave a comment with your suggestions as well. And if you want to check out last week's video, you can do so by clicking the annotation on the screen right now. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.